Hello, hello, and we are live again. Another trading day. Second trading day of the week. Last or Monday, we got no trade, but maybe today, more opportunity in the market. Time will tell. Time will tell. I got myself some late food here today. Usually, I eat much earlier, but unfortunately, today I was pretty busy with stuff that I was working on, which is why I'm a little bit late. But no issue. Let's see here. Let's see here. We'll start with pre-market prep as always. I'll pull the charts in a moment. Take my phone in front of me so I can see chat properly. So, how are you guys doing? Another trading day, and today it looks like we might get some good setups. Let's swap to the markets here and have a look what the day is looking like today. Let's start with ES. We have single prints below, but also above, and then we have another old P close here at 88375. So let's put a guide there and let's rename it. Let's give it old P close. So we remember that there's a level that will act as a magnet this session. Yeah, I will set up my pen tool here. If you have any questions about my prep today, let me know. Or just about my charts if you're new to the stream. I will stream every day, 15 minutes before the market opens. If there's not like a special thing or something that makes me not stream. Sometimes I might take some trades on my live account as well, and then I won't be on stream, but most of the time I will be live. And here we go. Let's do some analysis. What I'm seeing here is a move to the downside from the open, reject overnight lows and previous highs. They're kinda in the same levels here. And then we have outside of value here as well. So I feel like this area here is gonna be filled with buyers. And I think that's a good level. So we're gonna probably pull back a little bit from the open and reject and then fill this gap, but also the old previous close from another day. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's gonna be the scenario 1 for ES. Push down, reject at the overnight lows into yesterday's close and a old previous close from another day. Well, what does scenario 2 look like? Because we have to draw two scenarios. Well, scenario 2 looks like we take these and then we start falling over to lower prices. These are my two scenarios. A push and reject to the downside, or then we pull back and find buyers into the magnets and maybe continue, or then we get some balance. But here, now you have some time if you want to print screen or screenshot the review. You can do that, and you can kind of get an idea of how a professional trader should do his review work. Obviously, this is years and years and years of experience and looking at the time price opportunity chart. So it comes with time, but also just by doing like daily charts, you will learn to kind of see a pattern of what levels like to get taken out and where's magnets, and you will get better with time. So don't worry if you don't know yet. Let's go to YM. YM pretty much a similar story, but the only difference is that we are opening above the previous close. So I would say the same thing, push and reject into previous close and maybe even lower prices. Or Then we push down, take the poor low here, and find buyers to the upside. And do some type of balancing out, or then we might just continue to the upside. Who knows? But this is the opening that I'm seeing for today's session. Then once the open is done, we'll start seeing more progression. But I feel like there's gonna be these few levels that are acting as magnets. But ES had better magnet levels than what YM has today. Let's look at RTY. RTY has a lot of single prints below here. We barely took the old previous close, but we have one previous close here from November 3rd, which is the same day as ES as well. So let's put a guide there and label it old P close. And let's put some color in there. So what I'm seeing here is a push down, rejection into the previous close. I think this is quite possible because we also have another, magnet here, which is single prints, a spot where the market just went through it very fast. It's a very bullish zone, and the market rejected that level very fast. It just went through it. So it's poor structure, and poor structure usually likes to come back, or the market likes to go back to poor structure and fix that structure. So I feel like this would be a play that would get a lot of these poor structures that the market is having right now and just, remove them. We do have another play as well, which is we just open to the upside and then we reject and take these single prints. We don't necessarily have to fill the whole single print, but I feel like we're at least gonna touch them this session. Then we all, of course, have these here below, which could be for another session or another time. But yeah, very quick and efficient pre-market preparation. If you have a market that you want me to prep for or show my analysis on, be my guest and ask in chat. I'm reading chat all the time. So if you need help with that, I'm all for it. I'll take a fast chunk of my food here because I haven't eaten at all. I'll mute my microphone for a little bit here. We still have 8 minutes before the session opens, and I'll take a bite. All right, all right, all right. We are ready with the food. I went and ate super fast. Usually I eat much earlier, but today I was creating some content around, some educational content, and I'm preparing for a stream. So like I just didn't have time to eat. Been grinding away the whole day, but now we are to the most important part of the day, which is the trading session, and yeah. Today it looks like great setup overall on each market, so I will really be focused today. And remember, the stream is not about entertainment. This stream is about quality trades and being patient and disciplined. We are not about dopamine here. I only get 1 to 3 trades a week. I'm super patient, and I have very specific entry rules and exit rules. So it's not gonna be the most entertaining thing, but you learn if you are willing to be a sponge and get the information from me and just see how properly and disciplined I am. Trading is very difficult, but it's not difficult in the areas where you think. It's not so much about strategy. It's more about being okay with missing a trade, not feeling FOMO, and just building up these habits that are unbreakable, unshakable. Once you get that in place, you have no problem, and you will be profitable. Finding a profitable system is not the hard part. It's the mental framework and work you have to do to not feel these human emotions that take over when you're in a trade. You start moving your stop loss, your profit targets. You change your plan when you see something. No. When you go into a trade, you know exactly what you're gonna do. Every step of the way. You're never asking questions. Everything's just clear. That's how a professional trader does it. Right? You never ask, okay, should I entry or not? No. That's clear. Same for your trade management. You know everything, and you're just gonna act based on your plan and your rules. Then, of course, you have rules that are for exceptions, like for special situations, and that's fine. That's totally fine, and I have those as well. But you have to know the specific variances that can happen, and that comes with time. That comes with screen time. When you trade the same trade for many years, like I have, you learn to see these different sequences and what's good, what's bad, and that's how the strategy evolves with time. But consistently trading one thing over and over again is the compounding effect. You just become a little bit better day by day, session by session, and then you also do your rehearsals outside of the session, and every day you become a little bit better, 1% better, not even 1% better, like 0.5% better, every week. And it will compound, and suddenly you're gonna be at a level where you're gonna be profitable. Consistency is key in everything you do in life. Consistency is the most important thing in life. The rule of compounding applies to everything. All right, but here we go. The market opens, and we are gonna focus I'm gonna see here if we have any news. There shouldn't be any news today. No news today. Okay, that's clear. I should have checked that before the session. Okay, ES opens to the upside, but RTY is looking like it might get us a setup here. The risk reward of this setup on RTY is not good enough. Otherwise I would take it, but it's not clean enough. YM is just flying away. And so is ES. YM is the closest to a setup here. So let's look at YM a little bit. You can notice we have some positive delta here on YM. Strong move to the upside with a lot of volume. We are starting the market to struggle a little bit. We have a bar with some negative delta here. Doesn't mean that we're necessarily gonna turn here, but we have our fighter on hands. Got some sellers pressing the gas pedal. I'm not allowing myself to enter here yet though. ES testing the ETH VWAP in between VWAP and the EMA. So a little squeeze, RTY already closing the gap, so RTY is off the table here today. I want to kind of see what type of risk reward we would get on this trade from these areas. You know, the risk reward is not worth even if it might hit the goal. So we are not taking that. We are not taking that. Even if the move is clean, but the risk reward, you have to always match your risk reward with probabilities. So if it's a 1-to-1, you really have to give it a greater win rate of 50%. Well, this move is so fast that there's no way of getting onto the trade, so it doesn't really make sense to take a very, very bad risk reward ratio on YM. Even if the probability of the gap is quite good, it just doesn't make sense for my trading. He is still quite far away from the levels we were looking for. RTY going back to where it came from, and YM is looking like it's gonna close the gap here. I'm something in between my teeth trying to get it away with a toothpick, but still feels like I have a piece of my delicious sausage in between of my teeth. That's no problem. Why I'm not taking the gap here, by the looks of it, yet at least. Yes, starting to move to the level we were kind of predicting. We really wanted to see a move to the overnight low and some previous day value, and then we could find a long trade from these specific levels. Take the gap. The two previous closes that still are there as well, but we'll see. We still have to be patient and wait a little bit. This is an obvious level here. You can see we have some previous highs from yesterday, the opening high, opening range high, and then the overnight low, aligning pretty well. So a quite obvious support level there. So that's pretty much gonna be the level I would be looking for. Back to YM here. YM not filling the gap. And that's why you don't take that trade. Because the risk reward is just awful. Still positive delta here. I'm seeing buyers here. We could get some pretty decent risk reward on this YM trade. ES is still quite far away from our level, so we will not play around with that. And here we go. We have a second push here in YM. Let's see how it reacts to this high here. Can we make a higher high here, run some stops into a gap to sell? I'm really looking to see here what type of risk reward I would have again. From these levels I could almost get a 2-to-1, which is not bad. We still have buyers here. You can see delta is still steadily rising on this rotation, so there's no play to be had here yet. Yes, still trading in the same place, same range. Something I'd like to see here is something like this. This type of move would be quite telegraphed. Run the people who got FOMO'd in here to short and then take the gap as planned. We'll see if that comes true. The risk reward would be quite great from these levels as well. I'm only gonna take the trade if we run to this level. I'm not gonna trade here in the middle. Don't fill in the middle. Just get this and boom. That would be a clean one. Going short here could be a possibility as well, you know, like this. But the risk reward is okay, and I think the probability is okay as well. But I think there's a quite good chance that we want to run this high. I think there's gonna be a lot of losing traders having their stops here right now. So yeah, I really feel like this is gonna be a level for YM to run here. I really have to take a look at the YM TPO because we did feel we have an old P close here at 4.8. As well. YM has already filled all the closes, so it only has yesterday's close left. Not gonna do anything here before it runs the high. Yes, I kinda wanna see a push down. Something like this would be quite amazing. Would be quite amazing, but we are still waiting for a setup on both markets. Nothing to do yet. Here we get the push to the downside. I could technically go short here, but it's not. It's not. It's not the play. It's not the play at all. This is again what I'm talking about when I'm talking about not FOMOing in. I know that probability for the trade is there, but I'm not gonna take it at a bad level, right? No way. No way I'm doing that. Just wait for the planned trade, and even if I would have won the trade by doing something bad, that's still bad, right? Follow your plan. Like once you learn to follow your plan and what you're thinking and what you're seeing and just executing by your plan, trading becomes much more easy. But as long as you're not doing that, you're just fighting against the market and you're fighting against yourself and your human nature. So you really have to unlearn those patterns. You have to be free, and it's so be freeing to just be okay with the market not doing what you want. Like that's the best feeling because you're not going to be anxious anymore or have any useless feelings. Useless feelings are useless, in trading. You don't want to have that. It's just going to affect your performance. Like just be fine with the market going to the goal without you if that's necessary, and if it's not going to the level that you pre-planned or having the reaction that you wanted. Don't do anything stupid. That's the that's the only thing you have to know in trading. Don't do anything stupid and just follow your plan. If you have a profitable plan, following your plan is the only thing you have to do. But surprisingly, it's very hard because a lot of people are very great at making plans and coming up with trades, but they suck at doing what they are pretty much teaching or saying they're gonna do. It's the classic, right? It's like if I went to someone who if I start teaching how to eat properly, how to have a proper diet, because my diet is a little bit wanky, I do admit that, and I should change it, but I don't. It's the same thing, If I would preach that, hey, you should eat more salad or you should, eat healthier food, you completely lose trust. Like, no. Show the example first, and then do it. Lead by example. So people are really good at, someone who, well, I don't know too much about proper diets, but I know a lot of people who know a lot of, of things about fitness or health in general, but they don't apply these things in themselves as well, right? You have the knowledge, but you don't apply it, and it's sad, and everyone does it. But if you're gonna be a trader, you're not gonna get away with it. You know it in your mind that you should do it, but then are you doing it? That's what you have to find out, and you have to learn to apply the things that you're planning. You have to do it. If you're planning to build a house, you have to build a house. You can't just stop midway and do something else and start, I don't know, building another house or starting some other, woodworking project or whatever you like to do. But yep, we are waiting. Waiting for a setup here. Just chilling a little bit. Just chilling a little bit. I want to see it run the highs there, and then maybe we can get some good action. All right, here we go. We are getting a move to the upside. This is what we want to see. Let's run the highs. Run the highs into a clean reaction. And that could be a great trade. Here we go. Delta still quite good. You can still see that there is some selling here at this, and I mean we are outside of value right here, right? So it could be a reaction there. Getting some type of reaction here. The first time we are seeing a little bit of a negative delta at this specific price point. But not quite what I wanted. I want to see the high ran. I want to see the stops going kaboom. And then once I see stops going kaboom and we turn, then I have my opportunity to make money. But for now, yeah, I'm not seeing anything worthwhile. My time ES is still pretty much in the same range. We are trading between RTH and ETH VWAP or across them. Yeah, not something very great. And we get some selling. Not quite getting the reaction we wanted there. We are back to the beginning. Alright, we are getting a move down on YM, but that's fine. Even if we close the gap on YM, doesn't really matter because then we have our setup on ES. Yes, showing up some volatility right there. I like how today is set up in a way where, yeah, if I would miss the trade on YM, ES is probably gonna give me a setup. or if I miss the setup on YM, I'm gonna get it on ES. So it's like a perfect balance. But yeah, today a little bit of a more bigger probability of getting a setup, and now we have something on our table here. We have our beloved ES here, and ES is running to the downside, and this is where we would start looking for a entry of some sort here at this overnight lows, but still not getting exactly what we want. We see some buyers coming in, stepping in, but we want to see this overnight low first. I wanted to take that level before we would start moving to the upside. YM finding some buyers here, maybe? No. I think YM might take the gap here. YM might close the gap here. Possibly.
The market is a play.
Oops. I'm gonna open my Discord. Put it here on one of my screens. We're having a move to the downside a little bit here. Yeah, I really want to see this overnight level tested before I'm gonna do anything. There's no trade in YM either. So it's Veterans Day today as well in the US, so might be a little bit of a slower day, which is usually good for me, just based on my historical data. But yeah, we're still waiting for the move to the downside in ES, and YM, I really want to see it run this high. This was our plan, so this is what we have to play for. I'm not entering any short trades before I see this, this level, this high ran. There's gonna be a lot of stops there, and I feel like there's gonna be some good value if we run those stops and then find sellers and sell off to the previous close. I feel like there's a lot of value there. I really want to see that stop run move. ES is still a little bit away from my own level as well. Alright, YM is gonna run this high here, and that's what we're hoping for. run this high and then get that swing back to the previous close. That's our plan. Now we get wedding music again. Maybe it's time to get married to this plan here that we already have on YM and ES. ES finding some buyers, moving to the upside. YM, the same story. I really want to see a peak above value and then fall back down. There could be some good risk reward ratio there. I feel like RTY is trading so cleanly today, like clean moves to both sides. Really loving RTY's movement today, but unfortunately it already took the gap there out in the open. So not quite a trade, but I feel like it did like a very clean setup afterwards. Alright, here we go. Let's see if YM is able to run this level. ES already trading at the highs of the day. YM still waiting for some type of reaction here. Here we go. Looking at a short trade here on YM, ES. ES is already doing its thing. Let's see this high ran first. Quite big order on RTY as well. Let's see if it is able to explode through it and then find a clean conversion to the previous close. I do like it. Let's run the low first. I mean high. Okay, we already touched the high. There we have the high, and let's see what the PNF chart is doing. Delta still quite positive. We had a micro stop run there as well. And we ran a few stops, but are we able to run it a little bit higher? I will allow myself to enter here if we get a rotation down. I'm just stalking for a move here. Not entering on this candle yet, but maybe if the candle gets a small push in favor here again, then I might. But for now, the candle is looking very bearish. That's not good enough for me. I want to see some more here. If we can hold below the 9 EMA, then I might take an entry here for the previous close. But for now, it's not so sure yet. Alright, finding some buyers again. We're not gonna be hasty here with the short. If we can make a move like this, or run it again and then find some sellers, I might still be on it for a little while. For now, I'm not gonna touch it yet. Let's let it do its thing. We are at the levels where I would look for a short trade, but this wasn't a clean enough reaction, in my opinion. If we do start falling down, I might look if we close properly below the 9 EMA. But even better would be if we just run this high and get a proper stop run type of move. ES is still holding quite well, and it's looking like it wants to maybe take the previous close from yesterday. So I'm still looking for the YM trade, but I kind of don't want to short yet. I want to see a proper stop run. We just had a micro stop run, but we didn't see like very big volume. It wasn't like a very what would you call it, like capitulation-esque move. Okay. We are seeing some volume here at the highs. I'm not taking that yet. But if we manage to hold here below the 9 EMA, then I'm ready to shoot. But for now, I'm still waiting. Waiting to see here. Waiting to see. You do have some negative delta here for sure. And I'm short. Let's see if this works. Looking for that gap to sell trade into the previous close here. And we have a level here where we are allowed to add into the position. We get quite good. It's decent risk reward, a little bit over 2. And we are entering first trade of today. Let's see if we manage to break it to the downside here. Delta is looking quite good. We got some volume as well here at the highs, which is usually a good sign for a turnaround. And yeah, I'm for sure looking to add here into my position if we manage to continue the move to the downside. Every market kind of having the same reaction here. There we go. We have a huge capitulation move. Alright, I'm gonna take my profits. It was a capitulation move. And I'm gonna go to ES instead and look at a ES gap to sell long. That was a very aggressive play. So we got a winner there. Just gotta listen to your rules, as always. First winner on the board. Stalking ES long here. And we might get some type of setup. Let's look at ES here. Not entering yet. Let's see here. We ran the low. We had a very aggressive capitulation move, but I'm not still confident on the long side here. Let's see what type of risk reward we would get from these levels. I wanted to about. Still not exactly what I want. I would want to get some better risk reward here. Still want to see something more here from ES before I would take the trade. RTY almost ran the stop or the high. YM looking like it still might go to the previous close. But I want to exit there because the capitulation move was there and I have a rule for capitulation. So if you have a fast move with high volume and it was a big order as well and into VWAP, I don't want to stay in that trade. I'm out. Have a great day. I'll take my free 1R. Good way to build some consistency as well. If you don't like it, don't stay in the trade. Move my Discord over to my another screen here. Starting to see some buyers here, so this could be a good sign for continuation to the upside. If you close above this 9 EMA now, I might actually take a trade here. But we have to close above it and have like a clean reaction. We're starting to see some buyers here though. But market's reacting to the downside. Not our time yet. But yeah, we got a winner here on YM. We went short here and took profits at VWAP into this big capitulation move. Otherwise, I would have held it to the target, but it didn't give me the opportunity because I have a rule that says that I have to exit on capitulation, and that's what I did. That's what I did. Gonna take that free win. And we are stalking ES. My dog is having some noise in the background. Kikka! Not sure why. Maybe talking to the cat. Having some discussions there with the kitty cat. Hello, dog. You can't see her, but she's here in my feet. Still looking for a possible long trade here on ES. YM still quite far away. YM holding to the upside much better than ES is doing. Trading here at the overnight low. Are we gonna make a lower low here? By the looks of things, we are. Pretty big negative delta here. Trying to run the low. We ran the low. Now we'll see if we'll move back to value. Starting to see some positive delta there. It's a quite big delta shift to the upside. And the question is, do we get buyers here? Dog barking in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear her, but she's having some sounds. I'm not sure what she's doing. Maybe talking to the cat or maybe seeing some animals outside. Who knows? But she's a very good girl. A very good girl. I believe she's 3 years old now, my dog. But yeah, we're still waiting for the long trade here. We are outside of value on a balanced day. We're still not quite there. We could have basically already taken a long here, but I didn't quite like it. I didn't quite like it even if we ran the overnight level. We were obviously still having some sellers here catching the move at the 9 EMA. So I did not want to take that. But yeah, we're at a pretty good position here. We already got one winner on YM. And we took profits when we got that huge volatility move there. As you can see here at ETH VWAP. Our target was the previous close, but because I have a rule, if we get a volatile move with a lot of volume just before the previous close or, on its way to the target, then I have to take profits. I have to close down the trade because usually that's when it likes to turn, when that happens. All right, let's look at the PNF chart here. We had a lot of negative delta here and nothing happened. Now if we can start seeing buyers and closing above this 9 EMA, I'm looking for a long trade. We're outside of value. Pretty good probability. But I really want to see the push have some effect here. We have some positive delta right now, but nothing's happening. So we're obviously not going to take a long trade. Do we have any people in chat today? How are you doing, guys? Do we have any trades today? I'm 1 R up. Got one winner on YM. The target was a little bit further, but we got a move that made me take my profits a little bit early. But just as planned. If you see a move like that, I'm always out. That's just a personal rule of mine. When you have traded for years and years, you'll start seeing these patterns when it's good to exit. And I for sure saw a good pattern today. Let's see now ES. Negative delta. Show me what you're made of. Some buyers are coming in here and delta trying to push it further away. We have a lot of negative delta here. So if the price doesn't really get a proper push to the downside here and turns, I think that's a really good signal for the bulls. We are outside of value. You can see it shifted. We were almost negative 500 delta. Now we're at negative 344 and buyers are coming in with positive delta. Now, if we can see a proper close above the 9 EMA, some proper price action here, we might actually take an entry. Ooh, how exciting. How exciting, how exciting. Well, not exciting for me, but maybe for someone who's watching. My trading is very boring in a way. I take like 1 to 3 setups usually a week, but today we already had one trade. It's the same setup, but I had to take profits early. But we have a planned trade on ES today as well. So let's see if we can properly find some buyers here. Delta is pushing very nicely, but we really want to see price starting to reclaim the 9 EMA and be on the right side of the market here. We are outside of value and we are on our way back to value. which is pretty basic on a balanced day. A balanced day is a very normal distribution. You have 70% of the value here in the middle. That's where the agreed upon price is for today's session. This is where price has traded the most volume, and then these gray areas here are where price is outside of value. So where people think that, now we are going away from value. And usually on days like these, where value is agreed upon, it likes to go back where value is. So, if you're buying a car and, the agreed value everywhere is that the car is worth $5,000, usually the price on the marketplace wants to go back to that $5,000. That's how it works. But then on some days, people might be in a big disagreement, over the price. Some might think that it's worth 5,500, and someone else might think that it's worth, 6,000. So you might have, a price discovery where it's looking for buyers at these specific levels, and it's a little bit more unclear what the real price is. And here we are having a proper push. Some clean delta here. I'm for sure looking for an entry here. Taking that entry already. Let's see if we can take the previous close here. I like that reaction. Obviously, we had a small move to the downside as well. After that, we made a small wick. But I like the delta coming in, and I like that we pushed above the 9 EMA for the first time. So I'm putting my money on this trade. So let's see. Let's have a look here. We are in a long trade. You can see we have still positive delta here at the overnight low. Now what we want to see is to see the move continue to the upside. I like the initial reaction of the buyers coming in there. For the first time properly after the down move, we are also outside of value. So I think it's a good probability trade. Good probability trade. And we have a target on ourselves here. And I'm going to put a guide here, because I always add at the 50% line to my target. So I always measure my entry to the target, and then I look to add to my position at the 50% line. Because once it has already went halfway to the target, my probability is higher. So I want to push my advantage. What I don't want to see is to see it move back from the 50% line anymore. So I have to trail my stop. So I'm keeping the risk quite same or even a little bit better, but I'm getting a bigger reward. Sometimes I might get stopped out and it feels a little bit bad, but most of the time it's making me much more money. And I believe in the 80-20 rule in life in particular, and 20% of my trades pay for 80% of my profits, and that's kind of the mindset I'm putting myself into. So it doesn't matter if I get stopped out for a small loss or a small win, but once I hit it big. And when I don't, I just have to keep my risk proper. But here we go. We got a proper entry in favor. And now we're just waiting for the market to do its thing. No, it's not up to me anymore, and I already took my edge. I had the edge in the entry, and now it's up to the market to go to the magnet if it wants to go. So. Let's see if it wants to move back to value and to the previous close. That's a quite fast reaction to the downside there as well. We had big volume going into the RTH VWAP. We didn't even touch it. We had like a few ticks away from it and then a quite fast turn. Buyers are still catching that move. I see delta going upwards. It's not the end of the world yet. As I said, now it's just up to the market to go to our planned level. We took a good entry, and that's all we can do. Now it's just tossing a coin and seeing if this time is when the market wants to hit our level or not. We know we have a statistical edge on this particular session, that we are gonna hit this particular level, but obviously having an edge doesn't mean that it's gonna do it now or even today. Just most of the time that's gonna be the case. Let's see if we can lock in our second winner here. And looks like the YM trade where we took our profits here, the market turned instantly after that. So yeah, we saved ourselves from a loss by listening to our rules and taking the profits there where I said, you know, if we're gonna get that type of move, we are out. And sometimes it goes that way. YM finding a bullish move here. I still like the delta is very positive here, even if the market is trying to move to the downside here. We're holding above the 9 EMA for a while now. Now we're just waiting. Waiting to see if the trade works. I get my cat here as well into the room. Now I have my cat and dog here. And instantly when I said that we have the cat here in the room, the cat leaves the room. That's how it usually goes, right? And now he comes and goes away. Velmo! I'll show you my cat. Here's my cat. His name is Velmu. I hope you like Velmu on the stream. My guest Velmu here. The dog is on the sofa, but you can't see it. And I can't really turn my camera there either. So you'll have to bear with me and just imagine I have a dog in my room. So the trade still at the same levels here. Didn't get a very, very fast move. Or we got a fast move in favor, but now we're back to the entry position, which is always fine. I'm not gonna move my stop or start taking some size away here. I'll just hold and see if the market proves me wrong. I have no reason to doubt my entry here. We saw what we saw and we took it. Also, YM is just flying away. Flying away is YM. Nothing to do here, just waiting for the trade to work. Still nothing happening here on the trade. We are still kinda at the same prices here. Very interesting that YM is breaking out to the upside so strongly while ES is struggling. And so is RTY as well at these levels. These markets are not very correlated today by the looks of it. We also have the IB in now, so we have the initial balance low here. Let's see if the market wants to take that out. And now we're seeing a move to the downside. We might get stopped out here, but that's fine. We have still one more try on this trade. If it takes our stop. We would be break even on the day if this gets stopped out, because we already had that 1 hour winner. Small winner there where we took our profits. Just as planned. We had some buying here and then it flushed down to selling. The entry was still good. You can't change your plan in hindsight. There we get stopped out already. But we do still have place for a re-entry here. We test the IB, we take the IB stat, and now let's see if we want to turn after taking the stat or if we want to continue a leg down. We are starting to see some buyers here again at these lows. So the question is, can we find some buyers to the upside again? We already ran the low. Not gonna take that entry. We have a poor low here. I really like that one. And I feel like that's gonna be a magnet here. So we're just waiting for another entry here. YM is very bullish. Not a short I want to be part of. YM still looking quite bullish overall, but we do see some more selling here on YM. As well. You had the retest, it broke out and now it's having a retest. It'll be interesting to see if the retest fails or if it wants to move back to the downside. There could be a very clean setup right now if we go to the downside, run the low, get the get the buy order in, and just go and get it back to the value. But for now, we're still waiting. We're still waiting, but I think there's gonna be a clean setup on ES here if we manage to pull back here. If we don't, then I don't like the setup too much. But if we do, then I'm really liking the setup. If we reject to the downside here, we're we're gonna have a really beautiful setup, I believe. Ooh. If we can now make a lower low, I really like this setup if we can make a lower low. You can push down, make a lower low, and go up. Ooh, mwah. Then I love this setup. Then I love this setup so much. Okay, I'm short YM. Stop at the highs. Target previous close. Looking for a move to the downside here. And then ES having a very clean setup as well. If we manage to run this low. But it's a big if. But this is for sure where the greatest probability of it turning to the downside is on YM, and if it pukes hard. And we are risking quite little as well, so let's see if YM pukes here. I mean, if we got a double close, it would be insane. Insane. So we are short YM here at these levels. And then I'm looking for a play on ES where we run this low, find some buyers somewhere here, turn, and then find a long trade. Very interesting that YM has had like a very strong upside move and ES had a pretty much a consistent downside move. But I do like this. We have an unfinished auction here and we have an unfinished auction here. So we have two magnets. So if we run this low magnet, we're going to have this magnet for free initially. And we also have the previous close magnet above, which I'm targeting regardless. So I feel like that could be a great setup. But yeah. YM still not wanting to react. We got the initial reaction there where we entered. It's not quite giving us what we wanted yet. But it still might. It still might, and the risk reward is amazing from this level. Let's look if ES can do what we want. Very rare to have a session where I get 2 trades or like two setups. I usually get 1 to 3 setups a week, and now we have both markets here giving me a short and a long trade, which is very rare for me as well when it comes to indices. Usually indices are somewhat correlated and you get 2 long trades or 2 short trades and then I choose the better one. But here we have 1 to both sides because the other market is showing more strength than the other one is. ES moving to the downside and then YM having a strong push breakout, and now we're holding above this level. And I'm betting on the fact that we would run back. I'm betting on the fact that this was a stop run. But if we now make a higher high, then I'm out. Then no YM setup today if that's the case. But here still, risk reward is amazing to this target. It's an obvious trade. It's an obvious trade for me personally. All right, here we go. ES puking to the downside. Let's see if we can break this low, run this low, and run back to VWAP, and then break VWAP and take the previous close. Really good risk reward ratio on these both setups here, and statistically there's an edge here as well. Statistics speaking, historically, on the gap close on a day like this. So we're just playing the statistics here. We're just playing to our edge. Stonks today. Not yet, Riku, but right now we are in a trade in YM. We are, well, right now negative $30 on this trade, but it's still running. We're targeting this red area here. And I'm kind of looking for a trade here in ES where we run this low, we find buyers, and then go to the upside. Yeah, I had one winning trade. I've already won earlier, but then I had 1 loss on ES as well. So I'm 1-1. But I'm still trading the same idea, and that's why I took prematurely. I scratched my YM trade for 1 R, and then I had 1 loss on ES. But the idea and the trade idea is still the same. So that's the plan here. Very rare that I get 2 setups at the same time on the same day. I usually get 1 to 3 trades a week, but now we have a lot of action on our hands here. Let's look at ES. If you manage getting buyers here, I might go a long trade. We ran the low, and now I'm really looking to see if we can get ourselves that buy from these levels. But Riku, not yet huge stonks, but might get some stonks today. We have a statistical edge today. So time will tell. So far my execution's been pretty much pitch perfect today. Couldn't have done anything better. And now let's see if this YM trade wants to break out. If it takes my stop here, then the YM setup is nullified. Then I won't try another time on that setup. Then I'll just leave it be. But ES is the setup I'm loving a lot here. We have this unfinished auction here as a magnet. We have this previous close as a magnet. And we just ran this unfinished auction. So now if we manage to turn from these levels, oof, we could get some nice buying in here. Of course, then it comes up to the execution. Am I able to execute in a way where I get in on the move? We'll see. For now, it's very, very choppy here on the ES. Alright, I might take my entry here. On ES, I already heard my YM trade lose, but that's fine. I'm still gonna wait a little bit if we can continue this delta to the upside. So right now I'm negative $100 on the day, or a little bit over, maybe 150. So not too bad, but we're still looking for that big winner on this ES trade. But we are gonna be very, very greedy on this trade. We are gonna be very, very greedy. Cash money, says Riku in the chat here. Delta is very beautiful here at this specific level. I'm still not entering. I'm still waiting for the perfect reaction here. I'm gonna be very greedy. I know this is my last shot as well on ES. If I lose this, then I'm out for the day. Because we have to protect our downside as well. But let's patiently wait. Wait for the setup to come to us. That's how it goes. Let's look at the YM trade here that I lost. We went short here, and it moved against us. Stopped us out. That's how it goes sometimes. We're negative $160 right now. Which is still not much. Let's see here if we can get a trade on ES. You can see buyers are coming in here at these levels. Sellers trying to push, nothing happening. And now I want to see the buyers catching this. I want to see the buyers catching this, taking the torch. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not seeing it quite yet. Focus is quite high here. One of these sessions where it's a longer session, you know, I'm getting more action than usually. It was our first trade of the week as well. First trade on the week. Negative 105 delta. And no reaction yet. No breakout. But very choppy here. Very, very choppy here. We still have the statistical edge here. We could get a quite big rotation from these levels if we can catch that long. We also have an unfinished auction here that's gonna really be as a magnet for the market. The market really wants to take this out. But we're not gonna enter enter without the perfect conditions because we know this is gonna be our last try today. Well, I always enter with that mindset, but specifically in this situation, right? You wanna make sure you get the best entry. There's nothing that the market is doing right now. Even if the market is moving right now to the upside, I'm not a big fan of this because we just left an unfinished auction here as well. And now this is a new magnet. Zip, zip. So even if we moved and took this level here, I think there's a very, very good probability we move back and take this level again. So now it's like, not the greatest entry. I'm not gonna enter. But if we can just continue the push, find some buyers, and take it to the goal, would be an amazing trade. But we're still stalking this specific setup that we have on our mind here. Nothing to do yet. Nothing to do yet. What is YM doing? YM still trading at these same levels. It wants to reject for the third time, by the looks of it. Could still be that the idea was correct on YM, but we just got chopped up. But that's how it goes sometimes as well. But I'm not gonna try it again. We have spent so much time above this breakout, so the false breakout narrative is gone in my opinion. So I'm not gonna chase that market anymore. I'm gonna focus on the market that has the better setup, which is ES. We are still very far away from our daily loss limit, so we could take more shots, but I'm deciding that this is the last shot. The last shot, technically we could still take a shot each on ES and YM, but I feel like we have chopped around far enough, and there's a risk always that you're just gonna give back some unnecessary PNL here at this point on the session if you don't really nail the next one. It's also Veterans Day in the US, so the volume is much lower. It's a holiday. So kinda expected that today is not gonna be as volatile as the previous sessions were. But still waiting for a setup. Nothing to do. I'm gonna get something to drink fast. I'll be right back. Hopefully the market doesn't do it without me being here. All right. Finding some buyers here at this level, but as I already said, I'm not ever going long here into this low. Even if everything else said that, hey, it's looking like we're getting some buyers here, I'm not gonna do that. Not a great idea. We know how that could go. We're testing the VWAP right now. Testing the VWAP. Now let's see if we have a turn here to the downside. But for now, there's really nothing to do for us, at least. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Yeah, this just became a chop fest. We're just moving back and forth. I know for a fact that a lot of traders are losing money in this area, trying to predict where the market is gonna go. We tried it once, and we are just waiting for this low to kind of have some type of reaction. We want to see this low ran, and then people chasing the breakout and a buy to the upside. That's what we want to see, but we haven't seen that yet. So we're still waiting. Still waiting for a move like that. As I already said, like even if we get the move in favor, we still have a poor low here. So this low really wants to get touched, in my opinion. So I would never long here, even if otherwise, I could see myself doing it. I just know for a fact that in the long run, you would lose money by doing that. In trading, you just have to wait for the perfect setup and let the rules align here. I'm still waiting for the move to happen. Did you get tickets to the concert? I haven't yet, Riku, but I can get them. I haven't remembered to do that yet. But yeah, good reminder. Yeah, I have to get them, even if there's probably a lot of seats open. Just a good thing to lock them in already. I haven't. Se on 4 ruusua in Laurentius Sali. Sounds like a good gig. Spilling some iced tea on my pants. Spilling some iced tea on my pants here. Why I'm moving to the upside? For sure, the right move to to not continue. Having that one try is all you need. You don't need to take more tries than that. When you see something like this, I think the probability goes down by quite a lot when you break out and you hold. 2 waves is fine, but if you get the third to the upside, then I'm not liking it too much to take a short. But honestly, I'm not liking it too much to take a long either. So no particular play there. I still like the ES play overall. I still have to be patient and wait. We've been streaming for 2 hours now, but I feel like this could be a quite long stream here today. A little bit of a longer working day because the market is moving much slower today, less volatility, but we still have the setup here. But that's fine. The past 2 streams were very short. We didn't really have any trades the past two trading sessions, so this is a good change. When you have 2 0 days, 0 trade days, so it's probably good for the stream to get some action as well in. I'm still liking the idea, and we actually just made it a worse unfinished auction here. No, it's like a triple unfinished auction if we fall down from here. So then I like my probabilities for the long trade even more. Improves that setup even more. But we're just waiting for it to happen here. But how are you, Rico, doing today? Everything alright? Life good? Are you gonna get any minus? Is it 60% sales on the grocery store, or is that already off the table? Played padel today. Oh, really? Nice. Do you have like a court somewhere close to your home, or did you have to travel a little bit further? Well, you'd think that they have a lot of padel places there, right? Was it fun? I've never played padel before, even if I'm a tennis player. Played tennis before, but never tried padel. I think 3 to 5 places. Oh, yeah. It's crazy how many places they have. I think they have the same here in my hometown as well. Or city. Whatever you like to call it. A big FOMO on padel courts here in Finland. By the looks of things. We did take now that poor high there, or rotation, or whatever you like to call it. So this is now not a magnet anymore. It's not saying bzz, bzz. Not a magnet anymore. But we still have one magnet here, which is saying bzz, bzz. So it wants price to come here. So we might have a setup there. but who knows how long that will take. Might take some time here. So we're just gonna stay on stream and vibe. Vibe a little bit. Vibe a little bit. Let's see if the VWAPs are holding the line here. If you compare YM and ES, they are completely different today. ES slow grinding to the downside, and YM slow grinding to the upside. So interesting that we are looking for a short trade on the one that's grinding up and looking for a long on the trade that's grinding down. That's just how it goes sometimes. Going to Helsinki tomorrow for a 2 days cooling. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. Is it gonna involve some how would I say it, alcohol? Or is it gonna be one of those professional ones where, well, I think all professional meetings have alcohol. I'm not sure what you would call it. A kid-friendly meeting or schooling. Much karaoke. Well, then that means that you have to get a little bit of some type of alcohol in your veins, in your blood. Because if you do karaoke, then usually people like to be wasted a little bit. Smirking. Riku giving that smirk. What a boring trading day once again. But hey, we got some action here today as well. We got a short trade on YM first, which we won. We played it by the book here. We went short here and took our profits here because we had the fast capitulation type of move. So our rules said that, hey, you have to exit here. I did exit there, and lo and behold, the market turns, and listening to your rules was good. Then after that, we had a pullback. We kind of retested this high, got a reaction, and then to me it looked like there was some absorption here and a very good probability of having a move to the downside to our target that we pre-planned before we started trading. But then it made a higher high, and then at this point we're just like, okay, it's looking strong, let's not try it again. So we went 1-1 there, and then we had one try on a long trade here. At this level we went long here, had our stop here, went in favor pretty much instantly, but then it just slowly grinded, took us out, and now we're kind of having some type of bounce here, but we have a unfinished auction here. So my rules prob hit, I'm not sure how to say it. I'm not allowed to take the trade. Sometimes saying these, it's always few English words that are like, what do you call it, like tongue twisters. Very hard to say, even if I talk quite a lot of English nowadays, always like few words every stream. I notice I have some tongue twisters there. Prob hit. I don't know, I have no clue how to say it. Well, I'll go and try to learn that word outside of my streaming. But hey, we have a magnet here, unfinished auction. I'm not gonna take a long trade before this unfinished auction is taken out. I'm kind of looking for something like this. If it goes to our planned target, which is here, without doing that, I'm totally fine with it. I know for a fact that trying to take a trade against an unfinished auction low like that. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. So we're not gonna be hasty here, and we're just gonna wait. Wait for something to happen. Waiting for something to happen here. We are 1 hour down this session. We got our first trades this week. On Monday we got no trades. On Friday we got no trades. And now today, on Tuesday, we opened up the trading. But still looking like a negative day so far, but we are still looking for this specific setup that we planned for in the pre-market. We already took a long trade here, had our stop here, it moved in favor, and then slowly moved back. Stopped us out, and you know, we could take another shot here, but I don't like the low, so I'm still waiting patiently. And you know, if it goes to the goal without me, I'm totally fine with it. I'm not gonna break my rules and try to chase after a trade that's not good. As a trader, you should always think just one good trade, you know? Just follow your rules, follow your plan, and don't deviate from it. It's very hard to do, but once you learn it, you'll start seeing green P&L on your account. So, you know, could be one of those days where listening to your rule would lose you money, but that's fine. That's always going to happen. And actually, those kinds of days are the worst for traders who break their rules, because once you break your rule and you win that trade, you get confirmation that what you did was great, but you did something bad. That's like rewarding your dog for doing something stupid. You know? Maybe I'm not the best guy to talk about this because I have a dog, and maybe, you know, sometimes I do that with my dog, but but you know, it's the exact same thing. And then you think as a trader that, hey, I can get out or like get away with breaking rules, you know, and then you create bad habits that you can't get away from, and it's just a disaster. Sometimes, says Rico. Hey, Rico, stop it. All right, but now it's looking like we might actually move to the closer to the close here, but we're still gonna wait until we are proven wrong. Patience is a virtue, and once you learn to be okay with a move going to goal without you being in it, that's when you unlock huge things in your trading. And the dog we just talked about is here with me. Came to say hi. Hello. Hello. Good girl. Yes. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about the trades today or what I'm looking for right now, let me know. If there's like a market you want me to review or have a look at right now in ES, what I was planning was to see this unfinished auction, you know, to get ran first, and then after that I would maybe look for a long trade if everything aligned. But right now there's really nothing to do. We are still trading inside of balance, so you can see here just moving outside of balance, outside of value. So we'll see if we can get some type of pullback now back to value again. Yeah, this could be one of those sessions where you just like move across VWAP the whole session basically, and you know, it could be something like this. Who knows? But we are not here to guess that. We're just here to finish our play if we can get that play. YM looking very bullish. We went one short here on YM, had our stop here, and we exited here when we saw that there was a big order, a big capitulation move, huge volume into VWAP. And you know, I have a rule that says that once you see that kind of volatility, that kind of big move with a big order, I exit. because usually, even if this was a sell order, right? Usually that's just a sign of FOMO, like people trying to FOMO in, and then it likes to turn. Very often, after high volume and capitulation, you see a turn. And I don't want to trade against that, even if my target was here very close. So I'm just fine with taking my profits. Took my profits here. Then we had a move. We didn't take this short here. And we ran this high. And it looked like a very good, continuation to the downside. Took a short there. Had my stop here. Or here, actually. And yeah, it just slowly grinded back. Looked too strong to me. I said, okay, no more trades in YM. YM is looking like a pretty strong market right now. I don't want to go long there either, because I wasn't present for the breakout. And I don't even trade breakouts, so why would I? So we just left YM alone. And now we are at ES. So we are negative 1R. So one trade, essentially, we are down today, which is pretty much nothing. Still very early in the week, so could still be a very great week for us. Veterans Day today, obviously much slower pace, much slower market moves. So also could affect the price action a little bit. All right, let's see if the ES wants to hit the previous close from the past session. You can see here was the target. And as I said in the pre-market plan, was that we would run the overnight low and find buying and take the previous close. That was the plan. We also had another previous close here that could get taken out at some point, but I'm not sure if we have the gas for that type of move yet today. But we played our plan here pretty well, and we got a move in favor, which is always a good sign that you did something right in the entry when you get the move in favor. So that validated my entry. Came back, stopped me out, and then it left a poor auction here, unfinished auction, so I didn't want to enter against that. And yeah, then we had a move in favor. But that's fine. Sometimes that happens as well. And we could still very well move back as well. Like, everything's possible. But this was the play that we were looking for this specific session. We knew that it had edge based on historical data. RTY was the only market this far that has closed the gap. RTY closed the gap very early in the session. You can see here, pretty much 1 minute into the session, it closed this level, and now it's just trading across VWAP in a very balanced manner, and it's becoming more and more tight. So it's like a wedge here, or a triangle pattern, or whatever you like to call it. I don't trade these types of patterns, but looks like that sometimes. You can take a look at these patterns as well, but I have no edge in trading candlestick patterns. Some chill vibes. Could be a very long session today if this keeps up, because we still have the plan alive. So we kind of want to see if that's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna leave before I either get my trade or the level gets taken out. So we're still waiting for that specific play to happen. But yeah, I pretty much, even if this stream might be boring because, now we're just waiting for the setup, and it could literally take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, who knows. I trade pretty much every day. Usually I get my setups in the open if I do get them. But today a little bit longer session here. And yeah, if you are new to the stream, I always do a pre-market prep 15 minutes before the market opens. So if you miss it today, you might see it and catch it tomorrow. Every professional trader makes a pre-market plan. Even if your strategy is not connected to the plan necessarily, you have to know at what levels you're engaging with your strategy. Even if you're a scalper, you have to know where you're engaging and what your levels are for today. And you have to make out scenarios. And, you know, you learn by doing. So I've drawn these pre-market preps for like 4 or 5 years, right? And I've become much better at doing it. You just learn. And a good way to learn if you want to catch up to the experience that I have, for example, is to just do it with replay trading. Put your replay trading where the RTY session would start and make a prediction. Scenario 1, scenario 2, maybe even scenario 3. A, B, C, D. You have many plans for the day, and then you see if these plans come true. And then just by doing it and seeing these different interactions and scenarios, you start already getting some type of pattern recognition of, hey, this could happen today, that happened yesterday, this could happen again. And you can put the puzzles into a big puzzle, and then it kind of becomes second nature when you're doing these reviews. And most of the time, or 50% of the time, it happens what you plan. And then if you execute accordingly and you listen to your plan and you execute according to your plan, you're gonna make money. That's just the truth. But it takes discipline, it takes patience, and it takes hard work, which in trading is very rare because people like to reach for the fast money, fast profits. But that's not trading. Trading done right is boring, and it's hard work, it's discipline, listening to your rules. That's trading done right. If you're entertaining yourself with trading, going for trades for dopamine, doing things outside of your plan, I'm sorry, but you're a gambler. And everyone starts out as a gambler in trading, I believe. But you kind of have to unlearn these gambling habits and just become a casino. And once you're a casino, you're making money on the people who are gambling in the market. And that's how it goes. That's why, 10% of the traders make money out of the 90% of traders, or whatever the percentage may be. But for someone to win, someone has to as well lose. So, but once you look at that, if we would have played against our unfinished auction here, we might have gotten stopped out. So maybe once again, the planet, the world, proves us that following your plan is the correct thing to do. Maybe that's the case. That's how it goes sometimes. Getting a pullback here. Also, when you have a balanced day and you see these poor unfinished auctions, you know for a fact that there's a very high possibility that we get a bounce outside of, a value, and then we bounce back to value. It's called outside in or inside out trading on these days, which is usually the best type of trading you can do. Because it's very clear value on this day. You can see the value is here inside of the blue area. This is where people think value is today. This is the word of S&P 500 or ES futures contract. So every time the price takes a peak outside of this gray area or to this gray area, people are trying to trade it back to value because that's where they think the real price is. This is where people agree over the price of your car. Let's say your car value is $5,000 on the marketplace. This is what people believe your Toyota Corolla is worth. Well, this is where it's $5,100. So if you have a Toyota Corolla, you want to sell at this price because it's above value. You're getting a good deal, or you're selling to someone who's overpaying. Same thing here at this area, $4,900. You're gonna buy that Toyota Corolla and then you're gonna sell it once it comes back to value to $5,000. It's actually super simple. Like people think that markets are very complicated, but it's just about perceived value. And with a volume profile, for example, you can kind of get an idea of value. You know, you can see here also like how value changes. So for example, here we thought that value was here, but then we closed here. So that means that people thought that value was here, but the value ended up being here at the end of the session. So it's a very bullish thing, right? Then here we see we closed inside of value, so everyone agreed upon the price at the end of the session. Here as well, you can see we rejected previous value that was here, we came down, and then we created new value here. So now people think the value is here. And then we had some peaks outside of it, but we still came back. It's super simple, like in hindsight, right? But it takes some studying and some patience, and you'll start seeing things in the market, and then you start understanding how the market is just a basic auction. It's nothing else. It's just an auction. It's like you're going to this auction marketplace, Carvana. We in Finland have this thing called Tori. So it's like you're flipping Tori or Carvana cars. It's pretty much the same thing, but you just have more participants and more things affecting prices, more liquidity. So it's like a big marketplace, but you also have like huge car dealers who are buying a lot of cars, and usually people are trading pretty much the same type of cars. Whereas if you're going to, you know, Carvana, there might be like a million brands, but in futures markets, there's maybe 50, let's say. So maybe someone got something out of that rant. Back to looking at the markets. We didn't actually run the low there, though. We didn't do this. That was what we wanted to see. But what we didn't do. So we're still waiting. Still waiting, still waiting. If anyone in chat has any questions about my auction theory, or, well, it's not my auction theory. Obviously, I've learned this from somewhere. Um, I'm not. I have not created anything besides my own system. That's the only thing I can get credit for. But the auction has been there forever, and it will be there forever as long as the human race is here. We will always try to find good deals and buying and selling, flipping stuff. That's how everything in this world gets value. The value on money is as well an auction, if you think about it. Indeed. Well, still nothing to do here. We didn't run the low properly, so we're not going to take a trade here. Still waiting, still waiting. YM moving to the upside here. And we are waiting. We were quite close to getting into the levels we were liking to see, but then we had a push back into value. So as you saw, we had a peak outside of value where people thought, hey, this car is going cheap now. And then they traded back to value. But obviously, if prices keep dropping, then we might find value somewhere else. Maybe this value is old news. It's yesterday's news. And then we might create another value area here. And this has become now the accepted value of the market. So the market has two types of movements. One movement is when you trend, and this is where the market is looking for value. Okay, everyone thinks that the value should be higher of this market, but where do people agree? And when people agree, you see the market move sideways, because then you have people that think, hey, here it's the price is too high, and then here the price is too low, and then you get something in the middle, which is the real price. And this is just normal distribution. Normal distribution, just basic normal distribution if you're familiar with it from math or school or whatever. But then when you have trend days, we're looking for price and value. And then once you start seeing this, then you know, okay, we have found value again. And that's how the market moves. Sometimes it could be the whole week inside of value and outside of value. So it could do this for the whole week. And then we have periods where it breaks out from this range and starts looking for new value. And then it creates another one again. And then you start seeing normal distribution again. A very fast and simple explanation. Hopefully you got it. Hopefully you got it. That's good. Some iced tea. A little bit dehydrated. Dehydrated. Well, if there's any questions about the market, the value, the auction, I'm happy to answer. Also, if you want a free coaching session, you can scan this QR code right here. Let's put it here so you can maybe see it better. You can get a free coaching session if you want to learn more about trading, learn some proper habits. I do work with 2 traders right now, but max 3. 3 is my limit. But if you're interested, we can have a talk and interview, and I'll see if we would be a great fit for the future. But the market is a great coach, right? You don't have to learn from anyone else as if you don't want to. You can always learn from the market. But it's much faster to have someone else who has already done the hard work and can help you through the seams and give you some new better perspectives along the way. But you can totally do it yourself and for free. Just learn, but you have to be critical with yourself and don't lie to yourself. That's lying to yourself and having an ego is it's a killer, right? You're killing yourself from improving, because when you do that, your ego stops you from admitting that you're wrong, and then you're never gonna make amendments. You're never gonna get better because you're keeping yourself there because you think that you're right when you're not. So that's something you have to learn when you start trading. You have to be honest with yourself at all times, because you don't have anyone else telling you that you're doing wrong. When you're in school, you have a teacher who's saying, hey, you did wrong, or this answer is wrong. Don't do that. You're misbehaving. They're putting you in check. When you go to the work life, you have a boss who's telling you, hey, you did wrong here. You have to fix this. And that boss has a boss that's telling, but when you're trading, or, if you start your own company, which is kind of the same thing, then that changes. And if you're doing something wrong, there's no one else to tell you. You're at the top, you're your own boss now. But that comes with that caveat that, hey, you have to be honest with yourself. and be able to fix these issues. Because if you have your ego there and it's stopping you from improving, well, you're gonna notice it in your P&L. You're gonna see your company eventually going bankrupt if you're being stubborn about it. So being, Mr. I know it all, stubborn man is very bad for business and trading in general. So always remember that. Be honest with yourself. And everyone's wrong once in a while. And I do have bad trades still on a monthly basis, even if, you know, I have most of the things already figured out. No one's perfect and there's always things to improve. But once you get on a higher level, these things become much niche. You maybe you should sleep better, or you should exercise more to have more clarity in your mind. You should do some type of reaction exercise to have like a better reaction, or something like that. Like small things. You already have the profitability there, but then you have to do these like very very niche and small things to get to the top, to be the very very best. And I'm not at that spot yet. I'm still far away from that, but I'm still at a level where I have like the basics figured out, where I'm already making money. But that's a thing that could really take like 10 to 20 years of mastery before you can like be at the peak, because it's a small thing at a time. But there's always improvement. You're never finished. You're never finished as a human being. Always room for improvement, and that's the mindset you should have. So even if you could have an ego once you're making a million, a 2 million, 10 million a year from trading or your business, you should still have humility, because there's always someone who's better than you, and there's always new heights to go to. And even if you're the best in the whole world, if you're the richest man, like for example Elon Musk, you know there's always going to be another goal, or another milestone to hit. It never ends. Then of course you have to also make a decision, like at what point do you think that now it's enough. I feel like it's not worth it to go anymore past a certain threshold, because the effort you have to put in to gain just a few percent of profits, it's not worth it, right? So there's always a balance to life. I don't think overworking yourself is something you should do just to make a few million more when you're already a multi-millionaire. But that's besides the point, and, and not something I can even dream of yet. But life is for sure about consistency. It comes down to consistency. It's not about being smarter than someone else ever, but the people who improve 1% at a day, slowly but surely, these guys will come on top. And it's the law of compounding. Small efforts on a consistent basis end up being humongous. You can already like make calculations. Like if you would make a percent of profits a day, you would come out with humongous profits at the end of the year, because compounding is so big. I think I think ES makes point 0.5. Wait, how do you say it? It's like 0.5% on average per day, or it has gained historically, which is pretty much nothing. It's a fraction of a percent. You know, it's a fraction of a percent. It's not a half percent, but it's like even less than that. It's like 0.005, and that compounded still makes almost 300% in a decade. Crazy. So as long as you have time on your hands and you improve consistently, you're gonna get there. Just don't give up. Everyone likes to chase the fast money. They put their money into these get rich pyramid schemes. But if you just put, $100 a month into, a safe index fund, for example, you would already be well off when you're 50 years old. All right, enough with that. Enough with that. Picking ourselves again outside of value here. What a long trading session this has been. I'll be honest with that one. 2.5 hours. And for the past pretty much almost 2 hours, we haven't done anything. Not quite 2 hours, like an hour and a half, maybe, or something like that. Slowly but surely starting to get tired, losing my voice a little bit. We'll still wait for a little while for the trade if we can get it here, but otherwise if it looks like it's just gonna chop here, I might just end the stream and then I'm gonna take the trade off stream. But I'll still give it a shot here on stream because it's great to get a trade on stream for the people who are watching, and also content and stuff like that. So far I've only showed how to lose properly on stream, so it's time to break that a little bit as well, I feel like. But learning to lose is just as important as learning to win. That's how it goes. I'll take a little leak here. I'll go and take a pee. I'll see you soon. And he's back. Back again. Oh, my screen just went black. Open it up. Such an eventful session that even my screensaver went on. Dog breaking stuff again, says Rico. Actually, no. There is I gave food to my dog before the stream, and I think I left the what is it called, like the dog food bowl on the floor. So I believe my dog is trying to tell me that she wants more food, but she already had her food time. But she likes to sometimes, like when she wants wants more food, she likes to hit the bowl if I forget it on the floor. But nothing expensive is breaking. It's just the food bowl. Food bowl, food bowl. Yes, yes. Yes, box, yes, box. I don't know why I have my throat is burning a little bit here. Throat is burning. Someone might know that inside joke. I'm not sure if I'm getting sick or something, but yeah, I feel like my throat is. It could be just me talking for 2 hours and 90 minutes. Could be the case as well. Throat is burning. Exactly, throat. How you spell it is very important. Throat. I'm allergic to fish as well, so I shouldn't burn any throat or trout, how they would say in America or UK, I believe. Trout. That's a fish, right? But the fishing on the straits, nothing yet. We are just waiting with our line in the water. The bait is there, but no fish. No fish. Was sick last week. Oh, yeah. I think there's some type of flu going on right now. I feel like I've heard that a lot of people were sick. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I believe. Who was it who was on Halloween as well? Who said that they had a flu, or was it you? Maybe. I believe there was someone else besides you who as well got a little bit sick. Maybe it was Mackis as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Still not doing the thing we want. Still waiting. But yeah, looks like the flu is going around in many places. I also had my client from Australia who said that he was sick just a while ago. So apparently there's a lot of flus going around, not only in our country but on the other side of the world as well. Let's open the chart settings here and let's display the PNL. I think, where can I say labels, maybe account session PNL. Yes. Let's put it there and apply. Now everyone can see that I'm negative $160 this session. That's actually a little bit under 1 hour. My normal or my technical max risk for a trade is $200 on this account. So we are a little bit under 1 hour down. So not very much. Let's see if we can turn it around. If we can get this set up, then Then you could say that I earned every penny if it works, because I've been sitting here for quite a while and waiting for this specific play. Waiting for this specific play. But I feel like, yeah, this type of setup is a test for patience as well. Like, if the old me a few years ago wouldn't have had the patience to sit here, I would be in every turn, trying to catch the planned play. But now I've kind of learned that, hey, you don't have to be hasty. Just wait, and the money will come from doing the right thing. Money will come for doing the right thing. It's very interesting that you can actually hear the sound from the background. You'd think that this microphone doesn't pick up sounds because it's not uh like, what is it called, like a shotgun mic, so it shouldn't like pick up a lot of background noise. But I guess when the dog wants to hit her bowl, then that sound is unmutable. Yeah, so what we're still waiting for is here this move. Bam and bam. That's the plan. That's the plan. But we're still waiting. Waiting. The reason why we didn't enter here for a long trade is because we left a unfinished auction here, which is a magnet. And we're gonna draw the magnet for, I believe, is the fourth or the third time here. And the magnet says bzz, bzz, come here price, and then the price wants to come to the magnet, which means that if we would have our stop loss here, the magnet would drag price and get us stopped. So that's not what we want. We want to be patient. And yeah, this is obviously a level that really wants to get run. Um, Even if we would do this today from this specific level, this is going to be a magnet for another session or the overnight market. Price will eventually want to take this out. You probably have a lot of stops here as well behind this one here. It's a huge level that didn't really have the cleanest reaction. You'd want to see something like this, right? But yep, still waiting. Still waiting, still waiting. YM is flying to the upside. Look at YM. YM is trending. For sure the right call to take the loss here and then not try another to the downside. Because look, it just flew away. Flew away. And it's doing its thing. Doing its thing. Still seeing here if it's gonna do its thing. Gonna do its thing. Running out of things to say as well. Just pure market mania. I think I should put some music on as well. Do we just rerun this or let's put this one now. Get some music on. Oh, never mind. Now here is some. This is not on copyrighted music. Copyright free music. Let's put the first one that we get. Just to get some vibes in here. Dog playing music already, says Riku. She's a drummer. Loves drumming. But when you're training, you want more calm vibes, right? The drumming is maybe a little too aggressive. Let's see if it's gonna run the close right now. Are we gonna get a thumbs up for a you can quit trading today, or we're still gonna wait for the thing to happen? Alright, we are moving closer to the previous close now. We will see if this is gonna be the thing that happens, or you will still make it to the low that we're looking for, but maybe it's time to get the level down. Level down. Not the cleanest price action today. A lot of unclean lows and highs as well. Not getting like, but that's because it's Veterans Day, so it being a holiday. Not as much volume today as on the previous days. Pretty close to the level. So this is the other magnet we have in this market today, is this red line here, and it's saying bzz, 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 and it wants the price to come there. But we also have one here which is gonna say bzz, bzz, So I guess another play you could technically do is, if we run this, go short for this play. Probably pretty good probability there as well, but I'm not gonna do anything outside of my plan here. So if it takes the red line, then we can call it a day. Otherwise, we're just still gonna wait here for something to happen, really.
Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it in a sense, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Are we gonna take it or not now? We are again outside of value. So a reminder again, this is where people today thought that, hey, you're overpaying for whatever your car is, Dodge Ram. But in this case, we're talking about the indice, which is called ES, S&P 500. Futures contract is outside of value here. So now either we create new value above, or we reject back to value. And this is the price of today. The volume point of control, that's the perceived value of today, because that's where price has traded the most. It's this yellow line here. You can see it's like a green shade on the profile. Green shade on the profile.
I just can't let you go.
My dog is here now, scratching herself, playing some music for Riku. Maybe he can hear it, I'm not sure.
No one likes
Yeah.
You made this mess and left me with the pieces. I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces.
Now you can definitely hear her. Her
I'm gonna burn all
leg is touching the wall.
I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to.
Still chopping around at this level.
I just need to.
Not really reacting into either direction yet.
Can't focus. I can't forget. I've been
I'm really looking forward to running this level. This is the plan, this level here. I can run this level and move back. Would be a great entry. But we've been waiting for that play for a very long time here, and we almost got it here. Almost got it here, but not quite. Not quite.
I just need to clear my head.
Not quite, not quite. Getting quite close to it now. Do we get the shut up? Do we get ourselves a well done, pat on the back, good day, or we still have to wait for a setup? This is what makes it much easier when you're not streaming, because normally if this was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of my screen for the whole time. I would just put an alert on this red line and put an alert somewhere close to this low that I'm looking for, and have a headset on me or my phone, and then I get the alert on my phone or my headset. Hey, now it's, you know, at that particular level, it's time to come to the charts, right? But when you're streaming, much harder to do, because then you're just sitting here and you have to kind of, you're forced to be here. And when you're on stream, you can't look at YouTube videos, you have to be entertained, you have to talk. So it's for sure a challenge, and, you know, really pushing myself to be active and talk a lot as much as I can. But sometimes it's very hard to do. It's hard to talk and come up with things to talk about when the market is not doing anything. You're just waiting for a certain thing to happen. Yeah, but it's a good skill to hone. And as I said, 1% better every day. Maybe one day I'll have the skills to entertain a very boring market, and, you know, that's something we're shooting for. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some type of guests here on the stream as well at some point, some traders with me. I have a few good ones. I might even have some of my clients on here for a coaching session while I'm streaming. But I'm still building that infrastructure. I can have anyone join the stream right now. I've set it up that way, and I have all the graphics and stuff set up so I can do that. But I still have to put the structure in place where I know what I'm doing when I have a guest, and, you know, what type of content that would be, and then I would have to plan around my, you know, my own trades as well. So like I could like make the switch, and the guy who's waiting for his entry on the stream would be ready to come in whenever I need him to come in, because I'm always prioritizing my own trading. You can always switch to being a React streamer. That's true. I could like react to YouTube shorts or something, or like funny memes or stuff. I mean, if there's someone who wants to show like any funny memes that are not racist or not good for the stream, uh, I'm happy to have a peek in these situations. Well, yeah, it's for sure like something I have to plan. I really have to think about where the stream is going. Um, I'm really happy to stream, but I really have to think about the content side of things because, yeah, something like this, it doesn't really make sense to be here for like 3 hours and looking at an empty chart that's not doing anything. Whereas if you look at other streamers who are trading, they do it for the dopamine and they take like 10 trades in this period, and it's bad trading, but it's good entertainment, right? But that's like looking at a casino stream, right? You're looking at people gambling, essentially. Just finding that balance of how you can make something that's in itself boring, entertaining, and also educational is kind of what I'm looking for. But I still think, there could be like Q&As, Kahoots, stuff like that. But I think that comes in once the community of viewers is bigger as well. And yeah, there's a lot of things I would want to do, but we are not at the stage yet. But also, I think having the guests over would be first step. There's also like a trading competition that's going on right now. I could take a part in it, but then again, I don't want it to disturb my main thing, which is trading, and that's my main living right now as well. So I really don't want to mess around with that because I'm very sacred of that. That's more important for me than the stream, honestly. So as long as this combination is working out, I'm doing this. But if I start noticing that, hey, it's eating away from my profits because I'm distracted or something else, then I really have to come up with something else. But for now, it has been pretty good. Like, my executions have been nice. I haven't felt the need to entertain, which is good. But then I feel like the entertainment side of things is hard to do. But I'll figure it out eventually. A day by day, we'll get there. But the React streaming was a good idea. I mean, I could maybe even do like a graphic, right? That has like my charts on the other graphic, and then like YouTube shorts or like funny videos on the other like side. So like I could react while I'm trading when I know that something's not going on. I could like pull out the beats, and I could have people send me funny things and clips. And yeah, not a bad idea, Rico. I actually think that's a great idea that I didn't think about. Not a bad idea at all. We are very close to the level right now. You can see we already touched that green line. So we might get music too loud. Oh, too loud. Okay. We'll take care of that. Better now? I have like five screens, but I'm still like occupied with every screen, so I have to keep my YouTube on the on the streaming screen, which is a little bit unfortunate. Is it better now, Riku? The hard thing with music is always you can't hear it yourself. So even if the bar seems okay, then it might override my voice a little bit. But thanks for that, Rick. Well, I had that fixed now. Good that it's good now. Good to know. Good to know. I might have to listen back to my streams a little bit to see what music level is good on the decibel meter, so I know it has to always hit that certain threshold every time, so it doesn't go over it. because then I know you can hear me clearly. And here we're looking for this red magnet level here, and it's looking like we might get it. We're so close. So close. 3 hours in and we're so close to it. Are we gonna hit it? Are we? Now it would be the ultimate fuck you if we did this. You know, then I basically would have to wait probably like 2 hours 2 hours more would be quite hilarious if that happened. Watch when I say it, then it happens. Okay, I'm getting a call now. I have to take this call. I'll come back soon. Alright, that was fast. That was fast. Very close to it. One tick away from it. Are we gonna take it now? And back at it again. Very close to it. Still looking for that red line to get tagged. And once we hit that red line with the price, then we know it's gonna be a day. We are still, I think we are on a 4-session losing streak. Actually, I haven't had a winning session in a while. But that's how it goes sometimes. It's very streaky. Then again, we had in October we had like a huge winning streak before we hit this 4-day losing streak. So it usually evens out. And as long as you trade your plan, it doesn't matter. You know, when you throw a dice or whatever you do, flip a coin, you know, you're gonna flip coins, you know, you could easily flip 3 coins in a row, even if you have a weighted coin where you know that, hey, you have a 60% chance of hitting the coin flip, right? It still doesn't mean that you don't have edge. It just means that, hey, you just had a bad streak and it's gonna correct itself. But the secret there is to not lose faith in your strategy and your edge, because you know the statistics are there. But what easily happens when you have a streak of losses, that people start doing different things just because they had a streak of losses. But that had nothing to do with your strategy or your execution. It was just the market doing different things. And if you look at the statistical edge as well, and if you have done the back test, you're going to have a lot of periods where you take loss, and then you get win. So sometimes, you know, they even each other out, right? So that's a very important lesson for anyone, really, to keep in mind, that don't let the results affect your trading, because 4 trades is or 4 days of trading is not enough, right? You have to look at a bigger scale. And when it comes to, you know, a month of trading, like if you have a negative month or 2 months, then you can start thinking, okay, well, if something different, am I still doing the same thing as I was doing before, or is the market different? That's when you can like start making changes. But like 4 days, nah. It has to be a longer period of time. And that's what it's very important to track also, like, okay, did I do my plan or not? Did I follow my rules? Like if you check all your rules, check on your trades, and you lose, you still did a great trade. It doesn't mean that it was bad. And that's the mindset you have to have. It's the same if you're like, you know, playing a slot machine. if you get the jackpot, it doesn't mean that you pull the lever any better than anyone else. You just uh, happen to win there. Or if you have 5 losses when you're playing the you know on the casino, you still have the same probabilities every time, and it doesn't mean that you know you did anything wrong in your blackjack hand or whatever. um, the same logic applies. And lo and behold, when I say, hey, it will be the ultimate fuck you if it doesn't go there and take the red line, the previous close from yesterday. And obviously it doesn't do it, right? It takes a pullback right there at that specific point. It doesn't want to move like one tick higher, 25 cents, no, 50 cents higher, and it would take it. But ES says, nah, you're sitting here for a longer time. You're not ready with your day here. And now it's listening to me. I just said and gave some bad comments about ES, and ES is like, okay, well, now I'll take it because you're complaining. Classic. I think I'm bugged or something. There's the one who's controlling the market is listening to me live. Maybe it's one of my, how many viewers? 4? 4 viewers. One of the 4 viewers is the market maker, and he's listening to me talk. See, now he's pushing the market downwards because he knows that I said it, so he has to be discreet. I knew it. Oh, just playing some fun jokes here. Don't take me too seriously. We are over the 3-hour mark today already. But we might get the gap close here. The statistical edge might have played out, but we did not quite get it. Did not quite get on the entry on the right time. If this move had extended a little bit, then we might have. But it's always might have. You can't really say anything in hindsight. Still waiting for the world to stop hating. Are we gonna get it now? So close. So far.
Yeah. Unknown brain. Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous. I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, you did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say goodbye.
I'm getting yawny a little bit, a little tired here.
Yeah, my life is lovely now. I'm focused on me.
So close, so far.
Car is on E, but see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you finding, see you looking down and out. Coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it. You so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music. I'm saying I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, you did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say goodbye.
So close to going there, but yeah, still waiting. Obviously, I have nothing to say, so I'm just chilling. Just chilling, but if someone has any questions in chat, let me know. Let me know and I'll get you some answers. But right now we're just waiting. There's nothing to do. Nothing to do, so I'm just gonna be silent here and just listen to music and save my voice to a moment where it would be required to talk, if that's the case. No, it's looking like it might take it. Do we get it here? Do we get it here? And we don't run it. So still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Still waiting, still waiting. I'll be right back and get some coffee. I think I need that. I need some coffee. I'm not gonna go anywhere, but I'll be right back. We are back. Still not going to that level. It's crazy. So crazy. Well, we kind of had like a breakout here. We broke out. We had some resistance here. Now we're breaking out, and we're kind of hovering around this breakout. So I think the probability is quite high that we actually run this level eventually. It's looking like a proper breakout. Usually when it breaks out and it hovers like this, it likes to continue. But once there's a breakout and it runs, and moves instantly back and doesn't come back, that's a great, short trade. But here we're like hovering above for a very long time. Usually it likes to shoot up to the upside eventually. But who knows? Who knows? Just a prediction. Okay, are we gonna see the prediction happen here as well? Ooh, yeah, we hit previous close. Yeah, we did. Beautiful. Beautiful. Do you know what that guys means? Guys. That means I'm free from my misery, and I do think it was quite a misery. This felt like a real day of work. Whoa, I feel very tired. I've been looking at the market for 3.5 hours. Um, yeah, a small losing session, not a biggie. Tomorrow back again, 15 minutes before the market opens, as always. As always, I will also have that scheduled on YouTube, so you can always see when I'm going live. So if I'm not scheduled in, let's say half an hour before the session opens, then you probably know that I'm not gonna stream. But most of the time, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna be here tomorrow as well, looking for trades. Veterans Day today, so obviously price action much worse, very slow movement, not much happening. We got few trades there. We had a winner first. We scratched that winner, which was the right call. We tried it again with much better risk reward ratio. Didn't get a winner there, got a loser. We took an ES trade, tried to go long, got stopped out. Our idea would have worked out after that, but I wasn't allowed to enter there because we had an unfinished auction and I didn't want to break my rules. So that's pretty much today's session in a very fast way. But most of the time I've been just sitting here. Game over, says Riku. Indeed, game over. It's time to go to the beach. Beach, let's go get away. Hey, let's go get away. Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually put on the sauna. We're gonna go to the sauna today, and we're just gonna enjoy ourselves in the sauna. I'll close my eyes and just live the perfect sauna life, and then I'll go to sleep. Very long day today. I feel quite exhausted, so I'll take a break. I'll recharge my batteries for tomorrow. I hope that tomorrow is not gonna be quite as long. I hope I'll get a little bit of an easier session. But hey, I had fun. Thanks for everyone who was watching. Thanks to you, Riku, being active in chat. Always appreciate my boy being in chat and talking with me. It made it a little bit easier to be here in front of the screen when you have someone in chat who's interacting with you. So thanks a lot for that. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you everyone. It's been a fun session indeed. All right, have a good one. Jocelyn is out. See ya, boys.